Now, let's look at our own Ghana situation. We want to find out, first of all, if we have anything that looks like a regulation or a law that already exists. That's why we're being joined by a private legal practitioner, Mr. Martin Kpebu, who is also specialized in civil litigation, and he is joining us on the line. Hello, good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Kpebu.
Yes, good morning.
You've listened to some of the things that have been shared already. Before I ask you my questions, do you have anything that you want to share based on what you have heard?
Oh, so basically, I shared the sentiments of some of the previous persons you've interviewed. Yes, specifically, some of the pastors have gone way overboard. Some would make a lot of noise. Especially, the noise is, if I may say, the most prevalent problem. People make so much noise in the churches, clapping, drumming, and that at such high pitches that they usually are a source of nuisance to their neighbors. So it's a welcome call on the national fight, and I hope that Parliament acts with this part to regulate churches.
Mm. Oh, that is to say that you are actually for some form of regulation in our own churches in Ghana?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Because, you see, the Constitution grants freedom of religion. But that same Constitution, Article 26, where the freedom of religion is guaranteed, also states that that right is subject to the Constitution. So when it says it's subject to the Constitution, we then have to look at other parts of the Constitution where there are restrictions. So you'll find that when we go to Article 12, they'll say it makes it clear that the enjoyment of rights also comes with responsibility. You say, yes. And so if you're enjoying your right to worship, you don't infringe somebody's right to quiet enjoyment of his land. You say, so for the noise pollution and all that, that is one way of doing it. And also, if you're enjoying your right to worship, okay, praise God and all that, you don't infringe somebody's right to dignity. So let's say a pastor says, in order to, exorcise somebody of some ailment, I'm sure you've seen a lot of gory stories. They say he has to put his hands in certain parts of the human being and all that. I don't want to mention, but I'm sure we all have seen WhatsApp pictures of some of these things. They say, so if I come to a pastor for healing, I still should be treated with dignity. A pastor has no right to pass his hands in certain parts of my body. You say, yes, these are just a few of the examples. So Parliament is really done well by starting this conversation again. So, Mama, beyond that, I'm sure you even sent me some material. We have so many laws scattered around that could have dealt with this problem. But, often we have a problem with implementation. So the good thing is that once Parliament started this, perhaps in the new law, all the laws that are started, maybe we should put all together in one sort of a code. And also the fact that Parliament has started this, so we are kind of conscientizing them to achieve some behavioral change. So for those who say, oh, we already have laws, yes, it's true that we have laws. They are scattered all over. So the best we can probably do is that let's put them together in one volume, and then also for the gaps, those areas that are not covered. You see, you mentioned the Rwandan example that the pastors must get a degree in theology, and it's a commendable step to follow. You see, so definitely, even though we have some laws, they are not sufficient to regulate the current situation that we have. So it's good that Parliament comes in and then we plug all the gaps and loopholes.
Mr. Kpebu, one of your specialized area, maybe two of the specialized areas, yours, is civil and public interest litigation. I want to ask you, as it stands now, what stops a church member from reporting a pastor or a prophet for abuse, for instance?
Oh, definitely. There's been cases. There's been cases in court dating from even the 70s there is a case of the Republic versus Comfort. Yes, yes, Comfort. I can't hear. Yes, so while she was exercising a church member, a congregant, she hit the congregant. Of course, that one, when they went to court, they looked at it and they thought that, well, the force that was used was not excessive. So that one, the pastor was not convicted. But you remember Obini's case. They went to court, he was convicted, yes, and he had to pay a fine. And before that, I think Usu Bimpa had done something there. I think he went to the radio station and caused some damage and all that. Yes, but what has happened is that, these pastors and all these persons, generally, they have a lot of followers. So when they're doing in essence, very powerful people. So my excitement about Parliament starting this new conversation is that, as we are discussing now, we are bringing some force to bear on the topic. So indirectly or even directly, we are conscientizing them that, look, we want them to stop the excesses. So if not for anything at all, by starting the conversation, we are sending them the message that, look, it's about time to stop. But as I've stated, the reporting and all that certainly will receive a boost through the new law that Parliament is going to pass. I'm expecting that through the new law, there will be an agency that will be responsible for this, so more specialized. You say more specialized, and also look at some of the ways of dealing with these pastors. Because, as I said, generally they are powerful people, so it's not every case that's able to go to a completion, that's able to travel to the end of the court case in order for a conviction if it's a criminal case or if it's a civil one. Do you know about this case of Patricia Bannerman? She took ICGC and Crossroad Community Church to court. That's in Hachu. They had some church, both churches in Hachu. They made so much noise. She was in court for years before she finally got judgment. So you see that's expensive. So I'm hoping that in the bill that Parliament, hopefully, there will be new laws. There should be provision for a way that the agency, the regulator, will help to resolve such cases without necessarily going to court, which is far more expensive. You say, yes, because procuring the services of a lawyer to take a church to court in order to stop them from nuisance and all that, it's very expensive. So the regulator, like the way I'm looking at something like the way in journalism, we have the National Media Commission. So I'm expecting that there should be something like that. The regulator will have some powers so that for those who cannot afford to take these excesses to court, they can go to that regulator, and then the regulator will have the opportunity to call the church, and then they can deal with it.
Mr. Kpebu, I want to reference this law in our criminal books, the charlatanic advertisements in newspapers, and draw your attention to it. And for you who is watching us right now, you see it on your screens, details of this section 137, the publication in any journal or newspaper of any advertisement or notice relating to fortune telling, palmistry, astrology, or the use of any subtle crafts, means, or device whereby it is sought to deceive or impose on any member of the public, or which is calculated or likely to deceive or impose on any member of the public, is illegal. And the editors, publishers, proprietors, and printers of any journal or newspaper in which any such advertisement or notices aforesaid is published shall each severally be liable. This law, as we have it now, Mr. Kpebu, what is wrong with this?
Well, okay, so it's useful, okay, but the wrong thing is about enforcement. It's not enforced enough. You say it's not enforced enough because we have seen cases in which some pastors have advertised that they are able to cure some diseases. Where, so let's take specifically, if we talk about HIV, as far as I'm aware, there's no cure. But there's the instances where that the pastor advertises that he's able to cure. You see, and people have gone in there. I think last week outreach, Joy FM. We're doing some programs on HIV, this particular problem. So they've been able to advertise that they are capable, and people have left hospitals to go see them. And what have we seen? Death and worsening of conditions. So the law, as it's read, generally, it doesn't cover all the ills. No, it doesn't cover all the ills, but at least it tackles the area of charlatanic advertisement. You say you can do something, so as a charlatan promises what he cannot do. So I'm capable of curing you of HIV, of stroke, of this is, what do you call it, psychosis, total healing, when he's not capable. You say. So it's about the enforcement. So even what we have, it's true that the laws that we have, apart from this Section 137 you've pointed to, apart from that, we also have the Environmental Protection Agency Act that deals with the pollution levels and all that. And the assemblies also even have bylaws where they seek to check the noise levels. But enforcement has been our biggest problem. So, but as I stated, now that Parliament itself wants to lead, I'm hoping that in the process, more funds will be allocated for setting up the regulatory agency to help regulate, and also definitely an enforcement.
Mr. Kpebu, you know why some people will simply just listen, maybe contribute, but they won't be hopeful that anything will change really, because we have many laws, like everybody says. But at the end of the day, there will be people who would still be doing what is wrong, and nothing will happen to them.
No, I don't. I'm very optimistic, you see, because by starting a conversation, definitely we get results. See how much time we spent. I mean, you have done this program, sure there will be more. So, you know, the human nature, what it is that we have so many pressures, so many things to think about. So some of these programs need to be sustained. So maybe after this one, perhaps next week you do another aspect of it. So you continue covering various aspects of the problem. And as I said, let's not underestimate this program we are holding. You are conscientizing us. Yes, because we are all rethinking. Is this what we should do? And I'm sure there are some pastors who are listening. Yesterday, it was all over the news. So there's pressure. Pressure is being brought to bear upon those who are engaged in the excesses to do something about it. You see. So for me, I find it very useful. I think we will all benefit from it.
Finally, Mr. Kpebu, how should this work? Should somebody from within the church go and report the pastor or prophet about what is happening? Or this body that you say we could have in the form of the NMC, can it act by itself? Should somebody petition it? How do you think we should go about this?
In matters like this, all of the methods you talked about are welcome. That's what we do. So we call it an eclectic approach. If you use one approach, you fail. So it's just like our Whistleblowers Act. They'll tell you that, okay, if you want to whistleblow, you can go to SHRAG, the IOCO, the chief, the Attorney General, the police, you see. So you increase the number of persons so that the number of persons that complaints can be made so that they forward it. So I think that church members can go report, victims can report them, and most especially, what I'm expecting is that they will dedicate resources to the regulator to go around monitoring. Monitoring is most important because, look, I can tell you for a fact, AMA, at least for the last decade, the various chief executives that have come, they've shown that, oh, yes, we want to fight this noise pollution by the churches. I remember for certain years, they even advertised some numbers. You could call them. So there was this check that I was trying to help somebody to help stop the nuisance, the noise they were making. You would call. Then they were supposed to come with the machine for checking the decibels, the noise levels. And then the officer told me that, look, my brother, the machines are only two, and that there's so much pressure. So I said, why we stop? We just couldn't. So it means that we need to resource this institution to be able to do a lot more. So I think monitoring, so the institutions that the regulator is going around, monitoring, and also the, what do you call it, when it comes to noise, especially the assembly that regulate the building codes when they are giving the permit to make sure that, look, you don't start worshiping in that system until you put in soundproof facilities, you see, and all that. So monitoring is key, of course, and to be able to monitor, you need resources. So let's give it a try.
Okay.
There's hope.
Okay. All right. Always grateful to speak to you. Thank you for spending a bit of your time with us this morning. Mr. Martin Kpebu is a private legal practitioner. He specializes in civil litigation, public interest litigation, corporate and commercial law, and natural resource law, as well as property law. And he's always a fantastic resource person for us here on the show.